I never imagined that my wedding day would mark the beginning of my worst nightmare. As I walked down the aisle in my bridal gown, I thought I was entering a dream. But as I soon learned, dreams are just fantasies, and reality can be much harsher. Ethan, my husband, was always the picture of charm. His smile could brighten any room, and his words made you feel like you were his entire world. But as I stood at the altar, I couldn't ignore the cold stares from his mother, Vivien, and his sister, Leia. They sat in the front row, whispering amongst themselves, their eyes full of judgment. My stomach churned, but I dismissed it, convincing myself I was overreacting. The reception was extravagant, thanks to Vivien. She reveled in showing off her wealth and influence. As I mingled with the guests, I couldn't help but notice Vivien's friends sizing me up. Their smiles were polite, but their eyes scrutinized me. "She's nice," one woman commented, "but she's so simple, don't you think?" Vivien's laugh echoed through the room. "Not everyone can be extraordinary," she remarked. I gritted my teeth, determined not to let her ruin my day. Later, as Ethan spun me around during our first dance, Leia leaned over to a cousin and whispered, "She doesn't fit in. She's in way over her head." Her words stung. When Ethan and I finally retreated to our hotel suite, I couldn't hold it in anymore. "Your family doesn't like me, do they?"
He sighed.
"Don't let it bother you. They're just protective." "They mocked me, Ethan, right there in front of everyone." He kissed my forehead, brushing off my concerns. "You're overthinking it. Let's just enjoy tonight." But the doubt lingered, growing in the back of my mind. Life as Ethan's wife was a mix of moments of sweetness and bitterness. When we were alone, he was loving. But when his family was around, he became a different person, masking their jabs as casual concern. "Kate, dear," Vivien said one evening at a family dinner, "have you ever considered taking etiquette lessons? Our circles can be quite demanding, and I wouldn't want you to feel out of place." Leia smirked. "She's doing her best, after all." I looked at Ethan for support, but he only gave me an uncomfortable smile and looked away. The breaking point came at a charity gala that Vivien insisted I attend. Surrounded by glittering gowns and polished smiles, I felt completely out of place. As I stood by the bar, I overheard Vivien speaking to a group of wealthy donors. "She's sweet," Vivien said, her tongue dripping with condescension, "but I thought Ethan would choose someone more refined." Laughter erupted from the group. My face flushed with embarrassment. When I confronted Ethan later that night, his response was maddening. "They don't mean it. You're taking it too personally." I tried to fit in by taking Vivien's advice, attending etiquette classes, and buying expensive clothes, but nothing seemed to change. Every effort was met with more criticism. One evening, as I stared at a honeymoon photo, something inside me snapped. Why was I bending over backward for people who clearly hated me? Why wasn't Ethan standing up for me? That was when I realized I couldn't keep living like this. If they wanted a battle, I would give them one. I took my first stand at a family brunch Vivien hosted. Dressed in a sleek black gown and vintage pearls, I walked in with confidence. But Vivien's smile was tight. "Oh, Kate, you made it. I wasn't sure you'd understand the theme." "I never miss a chance to shine," I replied, my voice icy. As the brunch continued, I held my ground, participating with assurance. Vivien and Leia's discomfort was palpable, and I felt victorious, until they retaliated. After the meal, Vivien pulled me aside. "I know you're trying, dear, but it's best to let the more experienced women handle the social scene. You wouldn't want to embarrass yourself or Ethan." Her words stung, but I didn't let her see it. "Thanks for the advice, Vivien, but I think I'll manage just fine." The conflict didn't end there. It bled into my marriage. Ethan, who hated confrontation, didn't support me. Instead, he withdrew into silence. One night, I confronted him. "Why won't you say anything to them? They humiliate me, Ethan, right in front of everyone, and you just sit there." "What do you want me to do, Kate? They're my family. And what about me?" I shot back. "Am I not your family too?" His silence was deafening. Things only got worse at Ethan's company gala. Vivien and Leia were, of course, present. I had carefully prepared, wearing an elegant emerald gown, hoping to avoid them. But as I chatted with one of Ethan's colleagues, I overheard Vivien's sugary voice. "She's charming, isn't she?" she said. "It's a shame she doesn't. Understand our world. Poor thing, trying so hard." Leia laughed. "It's like watching a little girl play dress up." My heart sank. When I confronted them, my voice wavered, but I stood my ground. "Is there something you'd like to say to me directly?" Vivien feigned innocence. "Kate, dear, what are you talking about?" "You know exactly what I'm talking about," I said, my hands clenched into fists. "You've been undermining me since I married Ethan. I'm done pretending it doesn't hurt." Leia smirked. "Oh, sweetie, don't take it so seriously. It's all just fun and games." "Fun?" I spat. "Is tearing someone down for your amusement really fun?" Before they could respond, I turned to Ethan, who was standing by the bar. "And you," I said, my voice breaking, "are you just going to stand there and let this happen?" He stared at me helplessly as I stormed out, ignoring his weak attempts to stop me. The weeks that followed were a blur of arguments and silence. Ethan apologized, but his words felt empty. The rift between us deepened. One evening, I came across an article titled "Family Feud at Elite Gala. Daughter-in-law causes stir." My heart sank as I saw anonymous quotes describing me as emotional and out of place. It didn't take much to figure out who had leaked it. Furious, I confronted Ethan. "Your family crossed a line," I said, showing him the article. "Do you know how humiliating this is?" He sighed. "You shouldn't have confronted them. You know how they are." I stared at him, incredulous. "So you're blaming me?" "I'll talk to them," he muttered weakly. I knew he wouldn't. For the first time, I wondered if I had made a mistake marrying him. Then, unexpectedly, Ethan's younger brother, Adam, reached out to me. Unlike the rest of the family, Adam had always been kind. He didn't partake in the drama that Vivien and Leia thrived on, and for the first time, I felt like someone in the family might actually be on my side. One afternoon, out of the blue, Adam called. "I heard about the gala," he said gently. "I just wanted to say I'm sorry for how they treated you. It wasn't right." His words hit me harder than I expected. "Thank you, Adam. That means more than you realize. You don't deserve this, Kate. You're not alone. If there's anything I can do, just let me know." For the first time in weeks, I felt a flicker of hope. Maybe I wasn't as isolated as I thought. Over the next few weeks, Adam's support remained a steady presence in my life. I'd been so fixated on Vivien and Leia's cruelty, as well as Ethan's indifference, that I hadn't considered the possibility of having allies, perhaps even within their own family. That small spark of hope kept me going, even though I wasn't sure where it would lead. The unexpected conversation came when Adam invited me for coffee. Hesitant but grateful for the offer, I met him at a quaint cafe far from our usual high society venues. "I don't understand," I began after the usual pleasantries. "Why are you helping me? You're Vivien's son, too." Adam stirred his coffee, his gaze steady. "You're right. But I've had enough of watching her treat people like pawns. You're not the first she's torn down, but you're the first to stand up for yourself." His words stung and soothed me all at once. It doesn't always feel like I'm fighting back. Most days, it feels like I'm just trying to stay afloat. "That's because you're doing it alone," he said simply. "You shouldn't have to." Adam's unwavering support sparked something within me. Together, we began planning. Not for revenge, but for asserting ourselves and demanding respect. "You can't play by their rules," Adam advised. "They'll always have the upper hand. But you can change the game." "How?" I asked, intrigued yet uncertain. "By showing them you're not relying on their approval. Create your own network, your own reputation." It wasn't easy, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. I had spent so long trying to fit into their world that I had lost sight of my own strengths. It was time to reclaim them. I started with what I knew: graphic design, a career I had set aside after marrying Ethan. Now I was freelancing again, landing some small clients. Vivien and Leia quickly took notice and, of course, mocked me. "Oh, how quaint," Leia sneered at a dinner party. A little hobby to keep you occupied. I smiled, refusing to let their jabs affect me. Actually, it's a full-time profession, and it's going really well. Thank you. Their insults no longer stung. I was starting to see them for what they were, insecure women who thrived on diminishing others. The real turning point came at one of Vivien's charity events, which Adam had encouraged me to attend. It wasn't about proving anything to them. It was about proving something to myself. The night played out predictably, Vivien and Leia indulging in their usual passive-aggressive behavior. Then Vivien, with her signature theatrics, announced a large family donation. She turned to me with a syrupy smile. "Kate, dear, would you like to say a few words on behalf of Ethan and yourself?" It was a trap. If I declined, I'd look ungrateful. If I accepted, I'd fall into her spotlight. But this time I was ready. I took the microphone, my heart racing but my voice unwavering. "Thank you, Vivien, for your generous donation," I said. "It's truly inspiring to see such support for a cause close to my heart." I paused, locking eyes with her. "In fact, Ethan and I have also made a contribution, one that reflects our values. Because at the end of the day, what matters is not just the size of the donation, but the sincerity behind it." The room applauded politely, but Vivien's expression was priceless. For the first time, I had outmaneuvered her on her own turf. Later that evening, Ethan pulled me aside. "Where did that come from?" he asked, sounding genuinely curious. "What do you mean?" I feigned innocence. "You were so composed, confident. It's not like you." I bristled, but instead of snapping, I replied, "Maybe it's who I've always been, Ethan. You just haven't noticed." He didn't argue, and for the first time in months, I felt like he truly saw me. In the following days, I focused on my career and growth, choosing not to get involved in Vivien and Leia's drama. Adam remained a constant source of support, offering encouragement when needed. Then Ethan finally confronted his mother. "I've been thinking about what you said at the event," he told me one evening. "You're right. I've let them control too much. That stops now." The relief that washed over me was immense. For the first time, it felt like we were on the same team. Vivien and Leia didn't change overnight, but slowly they began to sense their control slipping. I stopped engaging with their manipulations, and Ethan began to defend me, even in small ways. It wasn't perfect, but it was progress. And for the first time in a long time, I felt hopeful. Vivien, of course, wasn't about to back down. She organized an extravagant gala to celebrate Ethan's business success, but it was clear it was more about asserting her dominance. As the evening went on, she made subtle jabs at my career, background, and our marriage. Leia, ever faithful, followed suit. But this time, I didn't falter. "I have to hand it to you, Vivien," I said calmly but firmly. "You certainly know how to command attention. But I think it's time we stop pretending your way is the only way." The room went silent. Vivien's smile faltered before she regained her composure, her voice tight. "I only want what's best for my son." "I see," I replied. "And so do I. But what's best for him, and for us, is to build our life on our terms, not yours." To my surprise, Ethan stepped forward, placing his hand on my shoulder. "Kate's right," he said. "It's time I stopped letting you dictate how we live our lives. I love you, Mom, but we need space to build our future." Vivien looked as though she had been struck. For years, she had controlled everything without question. But now, her son was drawing a line. The dynamic shifted in that moment, and everyone in the room could feel it. The changes didn't happen overnight, but they were real. Vivien and Leia remained formidable, but their hold on us weakened. Ethan and I stood firm, presenting a united front. My career flourished as I took on larger projects, and Ethan, inspired by my independence, began carving his own path. Our relationship grew stronger as we learned to communicate better and support each other during tough times. Adam remained a trusted confidant, offering wisdom when needed. He even helped bridge the gap between us and Vivien, softening her edges. "She'll never admit it," Adam said one day, "but she respects you. You stood up to her in a way no one else ever has." It wasn't the victory I had once imagined. No dramatic apologies or sudden transformations. But I had learned that true strength didn't come from forcing others to change. It came from staying true to myself. One afternoon, as I worked on a new design project in our renovated home office, I paused to take it all in. The sunlight streaming through the windows, Ethan's laughter in the next room, and the quiet peace of knowing I was exactly where I was meant to be. The journey had been messy and painful, but it had been worth it. I had found my voice, my purpose, and a love that had grown stronger through it all. I wasn't just surviving, I was thriving. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
Stay tuned.